get a needle, get a hypodermic, must take them back at the end of life. Now, this does not mean that they'll charge a surcharge, I'm sure, when I go in to buy it, because it is going to cost them something to handle it, just like it cost us something to handle the sharps. We got those questions, and we said, yes, you can charge a surcharge at the beginning, at the front end. But when they bring them in, at the end of life, you cannot charge anything. You have to take it back. So, the requirements are very, very simple. We did not invent this ordinance. We copied San Luis Obispo County. We are now one of two in the state that I know of. I know Humboldt County is looking at it. The other cities in the region are looking at us and were following us to find out what was going to happen. And we said, provide a convenient location in the store. Provide proper signage directing the people of where to take the sharps and how to get them in there. Provide a safe, secure receptacle. What is a safe, secure receptacle? Vancouver, Canada, it's a 5-gallon bucket that looks like a paint bucket. It's puncture-proof. When it's filled, they screw the lid on, they put up the next one on the counter, and they start collecting pharmaceuticals and sharps in different buckets. They run a complete pharmaceutical program in Vancouver, Canada, and sharps for $300,000. In British Columbia for $300,000 a year. So it can be done. It can be done region-wide. And as I said, the next thing is to be able to take it back. I cannot charge you as a retailer when you bring it back. The next slide, please. I can bring in the same number of sharps if I don't have any receipt and proof that I bought them there. I can, let's say I buy 12 sharps, 12 needles. I can return 12 needles at the same time. The retailer has the right to ask for a receipt, but if I buy 12, they must take back 12 that I bring in. I can bring them in a 2-quart jar, puncture-proof, coffee can, something to where the needle is not going to punch through. Okay? Now, the kind of questions that we were asked during the workshops, it took 2 years to develop. It looks, in hindsight, it looks very simple, but it took 2 years to get through this process and to get to where we are today. Sharps that are ordered through mail order, we don't have control over those. We only have control of what happens in the city. This is why we need federal legislation. This is why we need statewide legislation. We only have control within the city. So mail order sharps, we can't require the person who bought them from through mail order out of Kansas to take them back. Will the city health and county health facilities be required to take them back? We at the city are going to require ours to. Hopefully the county will. We did work with county public health quite closely on developing this ordinance. So I'm hoping that county public health steps up and takes the lead. It's going to be up to their board of supervisors as to whether or not they will take the lead. It's a policy decision. Will mail-back containers sold to the customer at the time of purchasing suffice as at no additional cost at the end of life? This was a big question, and still I probably had 5 people call me today on this, from corporate headquarters ranging the whole gamut. And the answer is yes. In lieu of providing a disposal option in store, you can provide a mail-back envelope. Now, I see one person shaking his head. Actually, in Maine, in pharmaceuticals and in sharps, they have found this is the preferred option in Maine, the mail-back. The surveys that have been done by the state and looking at options around the world and around the country, because it's private. It's very private. People, when it comes to medical, want to stay private, and they want it convenient. Will the city have an amnesty period? No, we cannot have an amnesty period saying bring all the sharps into our household hazardous waste facility at no cost. We'll allow you. We discussed this. The simple answer is, as I said, we are what is called fee for service. We have to stay fee for service. We cannot take in something that was not generated by our customers. Sharps are only generated by 10% of the total population in the city and county of Sacramento. So The ruling and Prop 218 that was passed, I forgot when, I think 1990, 92, somewhere in there, says if you are a fee for service, you cannot charge me for something that I'm not getting the service of. So the answer is we can't do an amnesty. Why not extended producer responsibility? The retailers and the grocers and the doctor's offices, they all wanted extended producer responsibility, which we found extended producer responsibility is the person who produces it takes it back. The person who actually manufactures it takes it back at the end of life. A lot of state legislation is going through right now promoting this, from pharmaceuticals to sharps to paint to light bulbs, etc. City, we can't track a manufacturer in China who ships through India, who comes through Boston and then distributes through San Francisco. We just don't have that kind of ability. We would love to see the state pass extended producer responsibility. This is really why we did the Sharps ordinance, because we've been waiting for the state to step up and pass extended producer responsibility. The state has not passed extended producer responsibility on anything for 10 years. And by passing separate ordinances, each city, the retailers and the manufacturers, as Dean said, are going to get tired of all the different rules. So it was part of the strategy to get extended producer responsibility statewide. How will the city implement the ordinance? We're going to start with education. We always start with education before we bring out the stick. The first year is going to be education. Promoting it, telling people, we're getting stickers ready to mail out. We've mailed out the ordinance. We've mailed out the letter breaking it down of how it works to about 300 of the stakeholders that we identified. At the end of the year, part of our budget is going to be code enforcement. You're going to be given a year to get it in place, learn what it is. The first time we come out, we'll give you a warning. If we come out a second time and you don't have any way of disposing of these sharps at the end of their life, then we'll be looking at fines. And a big question that I've been getting, in order to collect sharps, you have to be what's called a consolidation point. City does not do the consolidation point. Public health doesn't do the consolidation point. It is the county environmental management, the local enforcement agency that does that. And that's who we've been directing them to. And that is our sharps ordinance. It's effective August 26th.
Excuse me. Did you outreach to like feed supplies and tractor supply and places where you would get the injectables for horses and livestock?
What we did, and I have to admit, through the Retailers Association and through the veterinary clinics and people like that, what we literally did was we went into the yellow pages and we identified who would be generating and selling the sharps. So in answer to your question, yes.
Good.
At the beginning, we did not. Fortunately, being a horse owner in my previous life, I knew, where did I get the sharps?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Marty, if the retailers can charge a fee, and if the people then dump the sharps, do they get to keep the fee? Is there any correlation between the amount they charge and how much they bring back?
That is going to be we had that discussion. They can charge a surcharge when you buy it.
And how much can they charge?
That is going to be a marketing. We did not say. We said you can charge a surcharge for the amount that it cost you to process it. And that, I don't know they're going to have to document what it cost them. I would hope, Jeff, that if, I know that it cost us 9 cents per sharp to be able to process them.
When you mail them back, you have to include a receipt?
No, the mailback envelope actually goes to a disposal facility in a medical collection.
Do more questions and answers at the end?
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Marty.